Keith Abel here, shooting another quick blog post. Today we want to talk about icebreakers and how to do icebreakers professionally. Now, in yesterday's blog post, we talked about how to bring up the conversation of our business with our sister. And we went over some things not to do when you bring up the conversation. Today, we're going to continue that conversation, and we're going to talk about icebreakers and how to do icebreakers professionally. Now, the information that I'm doing and I'm sharing in this series of blog posts can be seen on my blog site, aimhighwithkeith.com. That's aimhighwithkeith.com. So if you're on YouTube right now and you found the video there, you can go to the website and learn a little bit more about it. Also, I'm getting this information from a book by Big Al Schreider. It's called Icebreakers: How to Get Any Prospect to Beg for a Presentation. It's an excellent book, and I encourage you to get that as well. You can find it on Kindle right now for just $2 or $3. It's not a very expensive book, and it's an excellent book and gets right to the point. And it does it in a very entertaining way. But today I'm going to continue that conversation. So, icebreakers. How to do icebreakers professionally. Well, here's some of the rules. I've got several rules here on presentations and icebreakers. Rule number 1, I only give a presentation to people that ask me for a presentation first. Now, the reason I do this is that I'm a full-time coward, quite frankly. I hate rejection. I don't want to force myself or my business on anybody. Now, I know what you're thinking. I only give presentations to people who beg me for a presentation first. Then I'm going to starve. Now, just relax. All we're going to do is learn the skill of how to get prospects to beg. For more distributors, if prospects ask for a presentation, then things get a whole lot easier. Now, by the way, how would your life change if all week long people are asking you for a presentation? Life would be good, wouldn't it? So, just this one little skill, icebreakers, could get your career moving in a fast-forward way. Now, because if you have people always asking for presentations, you're going to build some sort of business that's tremendous, aren't you? Even if you can't give a decent presentation, some prospects are just going to join out of sympathy. Rule number 2, icebreakers should be 100% rejection free. If there's any chance of rejection, distributors will be afraid to use them. Rule number 3, icebreakers should never high pressure or embarrass our sister or anybody else. If you high pressure or embarrass your sister, you'll never be invited back for dinner, and that's a bad thing. Plus, it's just good manners to be polite. And rule number 4, icebreakers should have a high probability of success, because if your icebreakers don't work, well, no one's going to continue to use them in the first place. We have to live with others for the rest of our life. So, the formula. You can create lots of great icebreakers with formulas. Let's use one of these formulas right now. Let's go back to my sister's house. Munch, 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 munch. I've talked about the weather. I've talked about everything. So I turn to my sister and I say, "Hey sis, I just found out how we can get an extra paycheck every month. If you'd ever like to know how, I'll be glad to tell you. Meanwhile, please pass the peas." Now, if my sister was interested, what might she say? "Tell me more." She's asking for a presentation with no rejection. I'd say, sure, I'll tell you after dinner. My sister replies, no, tell me more now. I need an extra paycheck. I reply, I'll tell you after dessert, after we've cleared off the table. My sister says, no, tell me now. Is that a good problem to have? Well, of course it is. My sister's begging me for a presentation, rejection free. Now, if my sister wasn't interested, what might she do? She simply pass the peas. And I still win because I get some great food. But more importantly, there was no rejection. Did I high pressure or embarrass my sister in any way? No. Did this approach have a good probability of success? Well, of course it did. So why did this work? First, let's look at the phrase, I just found out. That freezes the prospect's brain, brings the conscious mind to a complete halt, and makes the mind forget everything it was thinking about, and compels the listener to totally focus on the words, I say next. Isn't that pretty cool? The subconscious mind has programs that run our entire lives. One program is survival. So when we hear words, I just found out, this survival program says, stop everything. This might be important for our survival. Shh, be quiet, listen. Another program is called curiosity. The curiosity program says, what did you find out? I need to know what you found out. I can't go on with life until I know what you found out. Shh, be quiet, listen. The prospect has no chance. The prospect has to listen. Think about it this way. If nobody is listening, your chances are pretty dim. We have to freeze the brain and get the prospect's attention. Then after I just found out, we can insert a benefit. Now the prospect's listening closely to the benefit and usually wants to know more about getting that benefit. So the prospect naturally asks to know more. What a great way to get prospects to ask for presentations. What about the remainder of the icebreaker I used? If you'd ever like to know how, I'd be glad to tell you. Meanwhile, please pass the peas. This gives the prospect an easy way to indicate, no, I'm not interested, by allowing them to simply pass the peas and do nothing else. The prospect doesn't have to think up silly objections and excuses if he or she is not interested. So if you don't believe this works, you can test this on your own. Prove to yourself that you can freeze minds with just these 4 words. I just found out. Try this. Do you have some relatives that you would like to get even with at the next family gathering, sitting at the table, eating away, munch, 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 munch? Turn to one of your relatives and say something like this. You know, I just found out, and then never say another word. It'll drive that person crazy. Did you notice that this is a simple formula that gets prospects interested and asks for a presentation, and that it doesn't require a super attitude, a vision board, charisma, or courage? Yes, anyone can use icebreakers, even the shy, brand new distributor. So memorize Formula 1, I just found out, plus a benefit equals a great icebreaker. And if that formula is hard to visualize, then simply fill in the blanks in this sentence. Hey, blank, I just found out how to blank. If you would ever like to know more, I'd be glad to tell you. Meanwhile, please blank. So until the next blog post, I want you to think about that. Think about this powerful phrase, I just found out. It's absolutely wonderful formula to use in social gatherings, especially where you want to kind of transition into your business. I encourage you to get Big Al Schreider's book, Icebreakers, How to Get the Prospect to beg for a presentation. Like I said, it's available on Kindle. I think it was $2.99 on Kindle. So I encourage you to do that. Also subscribe to my blog post, aimhighwithkeith.com, aimhighwithkeith, Keith.com, and just scroll through that blog. You're going to find a lot more interesting information on there. I've shared lots of different things on how to get your mind into a positive frame, how to prospect, and there's a wealth of information on there. So I encourage you to visit that blog post that blog site and subscribe to it first of all, and then scroll through some of the past blog posts and let me know what you think. Also, there's links on there where you can subscribe to my Facebook. You can join me on LinkedIn. You can join me on Google+. So there's lots of ways to follow me and get in touch with me. Also, feel free to contact me. There's a contact form on there. You can also go to, if you want to find out more about the business that I'm in and what I'm doing, then go to aimhighenergy.com. That's aimhighenergy.com. On that page, you're going to see a short little video and a contact form. Fill out that contact form. It's going to take you to another presentation, and on that page there's actually a long form that you can fill out if you have some questions that you want me to answer. So feel free to visit that site as well, aimhighenergy.com. And until the next blog post, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you have had a fantastic holiday, and I'm looking forward to a new 2014. I hope you guys are as well. There's a lot of things going on this year, a lot that I want to share with you, and like I said, I plan on doing a lot more of these posts, so stay tuned.